Okay, okay, sure. Yes. Hey, good afternoon, Nozi.
Hello, Prof. How are you?
I am fine. Unfortunately, I think EUCT decided to block the video because
Oh, okay. Okay. No, no, no
yes,
problem. We've got
yeah,
visitors on online. I shared the link with the
okay,
people from UWC.
okay,
They've
okay,
joined. There's Haja
okay.
and yeah.
So hopefully they'll introduce themselves.
Hmm?
They will introduce themselves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, why they are here. This side, we don't expect, attendance. There is what do you call it? Much too much. This marches against illegal immigrants.
Oh, okay, okay.
So today, there is a shutdown here in Kala. And
Mm.
but Fatima, who works for SIRC, came to work in the morning, so she decided to stay on. And I've joined her with Unilake, who also works with us. So from here, it's only the three of us.
Oh,
The
okay.
offices here now are closed, and people decided to honor the shutdown. But I suppose
Understandable.
we are descendants. Yeah. So I think that our practice is that meetings take place whether there are two or three people. Numbers don't count. We record these meetings, and they might be used, later by people who couldn't attend and were interested in the issues that we deal with. So I think we'll proceed, and unless from your side, Nozi, you are expecting more people, we can sort of start
No,
it.
no, no proof.
Okay.
I only
Yeah.
shared the link now, and I didn't know that people were interested.
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, that we get people. And if we disappear, I don't think the match is going to come this side. Of They were coming this side, but then somebody spotted the mayor of
Okay.
Sakhisizwe, and I think they have gone to the municipality's office. So let's proceed. Since we have visitors, I think it would be good if we introduce each other. And
Okay.
yes, and let me start. And people will see a number. That number is my staff number at UCT, which is where I work. And my name is Lungisile Tsebeza. And I'm also the executive director of the Sakhisizwe Information and Research Center, which is hosting this seminar. And a proud moment for us is that our website is up. I think from yesterday, we forget, but it's up. Yes, 2 days. Yeah, 2 days back. So people will get to know more about the Sakhisizwe Information and Research Center, SIRC, through the website. And so I think that's enough for this for this, for now, introduction. So, Fatima, you're in a position to introduce yourself from where you are? Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just hold on a second. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fatima Nzulase, and I work as an administrator here at SIRC. I have prepared today's topic. I think it was somebody else's turn, but that somebody is not around. So I thought that let me just come in and bridge the gap. Thank you.
Okay, Nilaki?
Oh, okay. There are people there.
Hello, my name is Nzulase Moyeni. Nangilapha eCalusa.
Okay, right. And can people hear me? Or must I raise? Okay, I'm sure that they. Okay, and let's hear from your side, Nozi and the guests.
Molweni Betuna, my name is Noziphiwo Sikwela from Ekala. I'm a board member here, SIRC. I'm joined by there are a few people. Haja. It's the people that I met when I was at UWC on a focused group. So we share similar interests. So I'm sure she's going to introduce herself now.
Okay. Okay, Haja, welcome.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so
Yes.
much. And Nosy, thank you so much for sending on this the event. I'm very keen. I'm a master's student at the University of the Western Cape in the medical bioscience department. And part of our research that we focus on is maternal infant studies. And so we do look at childhood development as well. And so I was very keen when Nosy sent the information. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the seminar today.
Oh, wonderful. You attended the right seminar. It's close to your heart. Okay, thanks. Thanks. Is it Haja?
That's correct, yes. And I see
Okay.
I'm joined by one of the researchers in our department as well, Dr. Tammy Ras. She's part of the of our research group as well.
Okay. And Tammy, do you want to say something? Introduce yourself, hear your voice?
Good. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay. Yes. As Harjat mentioned, I'm also a researcher. We are a research team in the medical biosciences department, and I'm also very keen on learning more today about our research. That we focus mainly on maternal and infant studies, as you mentioned. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay. Thanks to Tammy. And we know Batando. Batando is the host, but Batando, you are around? Do you want to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon. I'm Batando Ntsebeza, and I'm providing technical support for SIRC.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to introduce yourself, Campbell? We've just started.
Good afternoon, everyone online. My name is Mpilo Makiwane. I represent Ikam Village Development Trust, which is also working in this space, so in the education space. Thank you.
Okay. At least we've got numbers. I just explained to the people online that there is a shutdown here in Ghana, and we don't expect too many people. And even though people in the premises, they close their offices. So, but no, we'll continue. Okay, just now we're joined here by three people from Cape Town. Who knows he is a board member of SIRC, and then we have Haja and Temi from UWC. Haja is a master's student in the health side of things, and Temi, they all work. Temi is a researcher, but they all work together. Yeah. And today's presentation will be done by Fatima, and I think I don't know what language you'll mix, or because we've got a language policy here. We allow people to speak or address us in the language that they are comfortable with. But I think today, we might, I don't know, we might make exceptions. Yeah, yes, yeah. But I don't know, Nosy, whether you have sort of given your colleagues an idea of what we're trying to do. We are in the ECD space, and for some time we have been focusing on educators, and most of these seminars. Let me put it this way. In the final analysis, we realize that when we talk about ECD and and teaching, learning, and all those things, and from the side of teaching, it's best advised to talk about educators, not an educator. And it's also important to sort of to take into account that most, if not all, of these educators at the age from conception to 4 years, that most of these educators are not on the payroll of the state. So they are not your traditional teacher and so on. And yet, they play a very important part in the life of children. I mean, as is suggested, for some, there was a time when I was working with people who were doing research on the first 1,000 days of a child, and it's that space that we are trying to occupy in the Center for Sakhisizwe Information and Research Center. But today we are dealing with a topic that might appear to be distant from what we have been doing, nutrition and so on. And hopefully during discussion, we'll try and draw a connection between what we are discussing today and what we have been discussing in the past, which, as I said, was mainly on educators and educators for this group. It's very important for us, for this group of conception to 4 years. So Fatima, let me hand over. Oh yeah, I see, there are two people who have joined us. There's Nkululeko, there's Vuyokazi, Nonali. Oh, from Nkululeko. Okay, can you, Nkululeko, just in a sentence or two, a minute, just introduce yourself, because we've got new people who joined today from the University of Western Cape, UWC. Just the two, Nkululeko and then Vuyokazi.
All right. Thank you, Prof. Okay, thank you very much. Nkululeko Somhlahla here. I'm based in Umtata from Olsaso Skills Development and Education. We specialize in ECD skills development, but we also do other skills interventions. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, sir. Thanks, sir. And Vuyokazi?
Good afternoon, colleagues. Thank you, Prof. I'm Vuyokazi Nonali from Khululeka, Queenstown, which is Komani now. From NGO, Khululeka is they mainly focus in early learning child development.
Good. Oh, yeah. It's good they finally managed to get hold of you. We've been talking about you wanting to establish relations now with you, and you're only 100 kilometers away. In fact, I was in Queenstown this morning. Yeah, it's nice that we have managed to get hold of Khululeka. Okay, let me hand over to Fatima, a presentation, and then there will be discussion thereafter.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. As we all know, or maybe just to go back a little bit, we have been holding these seminars, and I think from April this year, I think the first topic that we spoke about, it was about the role of family in ECD, and when we talk about, I think that's stretched up to 2 months, and then we talk about the role of community as well in ECD. This topic, someone, Uputi Mzondi, was supposed to present today, but he isn't available. So, and then I thought that, okay, fine, since we've been tackling all these topics, this is something that I heard about last year from one of Mr. Somhlatlo's students, Unwabisa. Unwabisa was narrating to me the other time that one of the things that they are being taught in Mpumalanga by Child Vision is the use of the garden and the space to provide good nutrition for the children. And to me, that has sparked something that, okay, can we today at least talk about what does the role of nutrition play in ECD? I've just gathered some few notes since I heard that Putin Zondi is not available. And then I think from one of the documents that I've sent, I'm not sure if you saw it, Sis Nosy. Because, you know, when they first start, you know, what is nutrition? What is nutrition and what role does it play on children? You know, when I was watching, you know, the videos in one of the social medias during the weekend, trying to prep for this occasion, I saw a lot of, especially from our side. When Temi say I'm saying our side, I mean the Eastern Cape poor side. As much as one would say that we have land, that is a vast of land, especially we are in the rural communities, but our children are somehow malnourished. Yes, if I can put it like that, are very much nourished. And then now it comes a question: how does nutrition play a role in ECD? Now it says here that, you know, nutrition is the process of providing the body with food and nutrients so that the child can grow, can stay healthy, and can function properly. And the good nutrition is essential because of the growing and the developing of the child. Because it says that when a child is getting a good nutrition, it supports the healthy growth, strong bones, muscles, teeth, brain development. Because they say that if a child eats a balanced well meal, they concentrate better and they perform better also at school. And if the food also is a good nutrition, they also have the body is able to fight the infections, especially on our side, especially now that it's winter time, because we always getting flu. And then they say that it also provides energy. And we all know that children are learning by playing. And now when you have a nutritious meal, it gives them the energy and they can be able to play and participate in sports. It says also it promotes a emotional well-being. But what happens now when the child is not getting that good nutrition? They being underweight, they have a weak immune system, leading them to frequent illnesses, which means that it will affect their ability to go back to go to school. They have a difficulty concentrating and also have poor academic performances. They're also fatigued and have a lack of energy. But sometimes you'll find out that even though maybe there is food, but what type of food do they eat? Which may lead into obesity, especially if we feed our children junk food, diabetes, high blood pressure later in life. But I think now we have had some of the cases where you will see that there are 9-year-olds that are suffering from diabetes, suffering from high blood pressure. I think it is this poor nutrition, as much as they are eating, but they are not eating right. And then it says now, what makes a balanced diet? It's fruit, vegetables, whole grains, protein, dairy, and then we limit the sugary drinks. But the main thing that I would like us to discuss, I think from everyone's view, we all know the situation that we are living in. We all know our communities. But what I would like us to discuss is that we all know what the poor nutrition is doing to our children. How can we, as schools, as parents, as communities, help build a good nutrition, or a good, well-nourished children that will be able to perform in schools? Because I think if you heard me first, we said that we've got a lot of land, and especially us in the rural communities. And we all know that food is very, very expensive. So how are we going to help our children help our children, help the help coming from the parents, from the schools, I think from us as a community in general? What is it that we can do now that we have seen or heard that children need a balanced meal? I also think that will be consumer friendly and will be able to be easy on the pocket, so that the educators in school won't just take money out of their pockets, so that they can be able to buy these vegetables from the shops. Let me stop there, and then I will let Prof take the questions and comments.
Okay, no, thanks, Fatima. And I mean, just for the benefit of people who are not familiar with where Sakhisizwe Information and Research Center is based. We are in the Eastern Cape. And the Eastern Cape is a variety of municipalities. There are some municipalities that stand on their own, and others that are part of bigger municipalities called district councils. Ours is that type of municipality, Sakhisizwe is part of the Chris Hani district municipality. I think there are was it 4 other municipalities that make up this district municipality. And the interesting thing, with especially for city dwellers, the interesting thing, with Sakhisizwe, where sort of we're operating, is that our municipality is made up of 2 small towns. The past, people would refer to them as dorpies, and Elliot and Cala. Elliot historically was in white South Africa, and Cala was part of the Transkei Bantustel. Now, Elliot, the hinterland of Elliot, are commercial farms, and the hinterland of Cala are villages that are controlled, governed by chiefs and headmen. So is that kind of municipality that we're talking about, made up of villagers, people from villages, people from farms, commercial farms, and people living in these 2 small towns. There is no economic base that one can talk about here. And historically, people from this part of the country, spent years of their lives as migrant workers. And now, with mines closing and so on, they are back and are contributing to these high levels of unemployment. Just to give people an idea of what we're talking about and to contextualize what Fatima is talking about and the importance of nutrition in that context. Okay. I'm sure most of you you guys would know what I'm talking about, Ulego, but I know Haja Temi might not be familiar with this. They might be familiar with commercial farms, but not with villages. Okay. Can we open up for discussion? Nosy, your hand is up.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Fatima, for the presentation, and thank you, Prof, for situating the problem for our visitors. I'm telling you, I didn't even hint them. I just sent them the post. Anyway, to come back to the discussion of today, I think I am not an expert in this field, Fatima, but I'm going to talk from my experience. I had questions when you were presenting. I had questions. One question was, what is the role of an ECD center when it comes to nutrition, good nutrition for its learners? And I had a question that is, whose responsibility is it to make sure that the kids have well-balanced nutrition? Is it the ECD centers or the parents? And then I realized that when I was growing up in a rural area. When I was growing up, we had communal gardens because you had a question where you were asking how can we make sure that the kids have balanced diet. So then in that, I grew up in an area where we had a communal garden. I don't know what happened to that communal garden anyway, but we had a communal garden where every household was planting in that garden. That was for the community. I think it was motivated by what was happening in the school that we went to, like Upper Lufuta, because there was a school garden there, so people were buying things there. So I think that the communal garden was motivated by that, and parents. I remember parents going there to clear weeds and stuff, and at some point we will have vegetables, fresh vegetables. I think our societies are lacking in those areas if we are going to say we don't have communal, like we don't have kids with well-balanced nutrition. That's my little understanding of the subject. Yes, thank you.
Okay, well, thanks. It's quite a useful input, Nozi. And I hope Fatima has jotted down your questions. And Fatima, I don't see any raised hand. Do you want to respond to the questions was others? Oh yeah, no, there's Gululego. Can we take more and then you respond, or do you want to respond to those questions first? But you say yes. Eh? More. Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Miss.
Yeah. All right. Because
Yeah.
no, my comment it's more gonna be a comment than a question. I hear that Unwabisa shared that they are learning this Mpumalanga, which I would assume it's some further training that they are involved in. The modules, as we train them as educators, they've got unit standards. There's a unit standard on promoting healthy nutrition. And what we do in that module is to actually go deeper into what we're discussing now. Prof has written a bit about this thing in terms of land use. I hear Onos is talking about the communal garden. Communal gardens. You no longer see those communal gardens, and because people are more, there's an urban culture in our rural areas. People prefer to live off the supermarket. But the issue of nutrition in our rural city centers is located within the context of a household food security program that may exist in that particular community, in that particular village. Now, you end up having children that bring to school. They bring Simba chips, they bring cream Donalds, all this unhealthy stuff. And that affects their general well-being and their readiness to learn because of the poor nutrition. Some of them, they think that when they have got a cream Donald and this and that and all these processed foods especially, they think that it's a sign of being a status symbol. Even the parents, I put a cake in my child's scarf tin and all that. And these are the things that we're discouraging in terms of our modules. To say, what is the basic food security for a preschool child when they're at school? And what should be the basic food security at home? Which takes us now to, instead of talking communal gardens, each home must be encouraged in the parent meetings, in the parent workshops. It is the responsibility of the educator to impress on the parent community that each household must take care of its own garden. And the fields where it's necessary. I know in the area that Prof has just explained to us here, the fields are lying fallow. And like some politician asked in one meeting, what are you going to eat? You are building big buildings in the fields. The point I'm making is that the whole issue is currently of nutrition or lack of nutrition, healthy nutrition in our ECD centers. It's because of the culture that we have, the culture of grants. People, kids, if the mother didn't get a grant, there's no food at home. If the grandmother did not get a grant, there's no food at home. Therefore, we've got this vicious cycle that we are dealing with, where you have. That's why it's very critical that we move faster in terms of setting up these resource centers that will provide the support, the cultural support, especially. What culture are we creating around our preschools? What culture are we creating within our ECD context so that there is this food security? That's the input that I wanted to make.
Okay. I know, thanks a lot, especially, for bringing this discussion to the educator, because that's our main focus. Even the resource center that we are in the process of setting up, the resource center is for ECD educators, and so I like this connection that. Whereas one might think that nutrition falls in health and so on, we are able to bring it to a discussion on resourcing the ECD educator. Okay, that's just my comment. Thanks, sir. Fatima? I don't see any other hand. And Kulego is your old hand, ne?
That's my old hand. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
I think to respond to the question, Sakhisizwe, if I have heard you properly, what is the role of ECD Center when it comes to the children's nutrition? Sakhisizwe, the centers, they know their role that they need to play when they have to make a well-balanced meal. But it all boils down to the resources, because you will hear them complain that whenever, I am saying this because when we were doing administering the questionnaire, I would ask, when you're going around the ECD center, why is there any garden here, yet there are so many that is the land? And then they said they don't have money to pay for, I would say, the garden boy. They don't have money for, what do you call it? Is it called in English? Seeds. They don't have, yes. But the problem is, seedlings, yes. But the problem, it all boils down to the money that the government is giving them is enough to pay for, that is, the money that's being provided by the Department of Education is not enough, because, for an example, if one is having three, let's say you've got 30 children, then what you do is that the government only subsidizes you for, let's say, half of that. And then now you have to share all this money now with all the children that are 30 and that are in your class. So it is always a problem, but bottom line, they know they know what is expected of them. Number two, Mr. Somhlato, by the time I was mentioning child vision, what I liked about what Nwabisa told me is that when they got that further training from child vision, they were being taught there physically or practically, how to do the gardens. That is the educators. In that way, they can be able to feed the children, and they can also be able to sell to the community, so that they can be able to get, that is, more money for the things that they are not able to grow. I'm not sure if that answers you, Sakhisizwe.
Yes, you answered me, Fatima. Also,
Do you want to respond?
Hello, can you hear me?
Unless you won't hear me.
Can
You
you
can
hear me?
continue. Then
Oh, okay.
after that, no, I'll ask.
There was an echo. There were two, I think she was talking to two devices at the same time. But I heard what you are saying, and I also heard what
I switched off mine.
can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, Nozi, we are
Oh,
hearing.
you can hear me. And
Sis Nozi, do you want to say something?
I said so much. I'm saying I
Hello?
can. Hello?
Looks as if she's saying something, but we don't hear.
You are
Yeah, it
muted,
looks like
Sis Nozi.
there's no link on the other
She's
side.
not muted. I think you switched off.
What did I switch off? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, Sis Nozi. Please, you can please go ahead. Sorry. I was trying to fix that echo thing you were talking about.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna be quick. Yes, I hear you, Fatima. I hear your response, but I think I like what Mr. Somhlato said about the culture of grants that is really crippling our communities because I don't know. I am not saying the grants are bad, but I'm saying I think we can also do. I think we had our solutions before the grants came, and when the grants came, we relied more on the grants. Yes, we understand that the we understand that, yes, for an ECD center to run smoothly, they have to be grants but I also think that we are lacking we've got the fields, everything. I think this session made me question what happened to our community garden because it was working so well as a result. I think it was bridging the poverty line or something, but it was making every household to have something, and that something, when it's coming from the garden, it's healthy. I think we need to, I don't know, we need to be cognizant of the fact that some other solutions are within us.
Thank you, Sis Nozi. I think I will give Mr. Gambo a chance to speak.
Thank you, Fatima. I hear what this problem that is being raised. One of the questions people talking about issue of grants, communal gardens. Mine is trying to find what role then can the community play in terms of assisting in the development of those gardens? What role would social development do? What role can social development play? There's Department of Agriculture, there's Department of Education, there's Department of Health. Can't there then in that space of ECD, those departments work together in terms of education, providing the educators, social development and agriculture in terms of ensuring that those gardens function, and the Department of Health see to the health side of the children, in that space. Because as communities now, you're talking communal gardens, and they're not really there because people have been granted grants, as you say. They don't see the need and necessity to be part of producing their own fields. Even our own gardens in our own backyards, you find they're lying. They're not there. They're there, but we're not using them. We're not utilizing them. We go and buy fresh vegetables, so-called fresh vegetables in Spy, and you see. So I think there's a need for this particular departments for me to cooperate in terms of ensuring that some work is done in relation to the health, to the nutrition part of things, because nutrition translates into health, and health translates into a child will be able to learn, quick. That's how I'm trying to say it.
Yeah. Now, mine is a question to all. I hope people can hear me. Is a question to all. Do we know of a case where schools do what we say should be done? Where, say, preschools grow their own vegetables, fruit, and feed the young ones and adults. Because we've been talking about this, and we've also been talking about setting up a model, ECD center, where most of the things that we've been talking about, Fatima says that we started discussions in April this year. But then we've been having this seminar since last year. Yes. It's just that the focus is now shifted to broadening the scope and not looking at the educator who is so-called qualified and paid by the government. Yes. So, but no, we've been talking about these, and my interest is to find out, and maybe that some slash of workers and so on, they might not be helpful, where an ECD is doing the things that we are lamenting about. Oh yeah, no, I see, Vyokas, your hand is up. We'll come to our rescue.
Thank you, Prof. It's just a comment. I think our people, there is this culture of buying. They become dependent, I would say, because in terms of the support, there are doors that are open. For instance, if you're coming from our training, which is the Smart Start training, some of the things that you're being taught is go and introduce yourself with the local stakeholders, which is if you are in a village, maybe it's a local clinic, the headman or the chief, or in the primary school. If you are in a urban area, you conduct your councillor, your ward committee, and all those. So in terms of the support, in terms of the garden, the CWP people did support some of the ECD centers. I would say it depends, or it rely to the ECD center, whether it's a principal or ECD center practitioner. It's rely on those people, because there is a support from CWP, there is a support from agriculture in terms of the seedlets. So even if you don't have a space, we usually advise you can do the tires or just an old basin and put in soil so that you can be able to plant. But our people, the buying, that culture of buying, they blind them, I would say.
Oh yes, and is this open? Okay. Thanks. No, I think this is a fresh hand from Mr. Somhlasho. And I hope you'll say something that is more cheering. Yes, whenever there's a problem, my main sort of worry is how we overcome it. And we've been talking about this, the grants and how they are used, how they should be used. And some, and I count myself amongst those, have been advocating for a system where the state compensates those who are in development. Not give money first that will be taken to the nearest, compensating people for work. But no, Jesus John has been in this field much longer than I have been. Over to you, Vegas.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, there are quite a few of case studies that we can learn from where they do practice this. Quite a number of them in Limpopo. Very few of them that you'll find in the Eastern Cape, but you do find them. Coincidentally, in Limpopo, they are actually some of them are under TCOE or they work with TCOE. Yeah, a model that I think can be emulated, not very far from where we are as Ikala people, especially, is the one in Bulungula. The Bulungula,
yes.
yeah, the Bulungula incubator in Elliotdale, at Hoch. There you have an almost perfect environment of an integrated center. You've got a business incubator there. You've got an eco lodge, whatever they call that, but it's on the sea. It's a one.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
you've got an ECD center where the community, I mean, that is a first world ECD center in the deep Bundus, where you have everything. I used to take my diploma class there for an exposure visit. And each time we go there, they would come back and say, wow. Because let me take a practical example in the issue of nutrition. They grow their own vegetables in the plots that they have there. The old men of the village assist in making sure that the vegetables are looked after very well, and of course they've got their own staff complement that works there. But then when it comes to managing the nutrition, the cooking and all those things, they don't hire people. The women in the village, they work in groups. They work in groups. In 1 week, there's a group of women from the village who are permanently at the place looking after nutritional issues. And then the following week is the next group. And it's such a wonderful, well-coordinated environment where you've got this comprehensive intervention. I usually say to them, I used to say the last time I went there, it's about 4 or 5 years ago, what happens to these kids when they move out of the ECD environment and they go into the mainstream schools? And that's where the problem starts. I mean, the center, I don't know whether they've made any inroads into the local high schools around them, because those kids in that ECD environment of Ulungula, they are in a very first class environment. And the other case studies would be your Montessori schools, where, as you might have noticed, even when you drive out of London, you'll see a Montessori school being advertised next to Kunube. And I'm not sure if there is any around Queenstown, but when you get to those Montessori schools, you have everything that you would ordinarily have as a part of the classroom environment, where what do we call that thing again? Where abantwana pretend to be doing things, like the word is actually escaping me now. When the kids would have a stove, a mini stove that is not a stove really, and they pretend to be cooking. In a Montessori environment, the kids will be taught to bake. At that young age, they would be having a full-blown kitchen. There'll be a full-blown garden where these kids work. So all these things, you don't do, not fantasy play, yeah. It's not fantasy play because that is what is in our classrooms. In the preschools, we have fantasy play where the kids pretend to be working the gardens inside the classroom. I'm sorry about that, the call coming in. So the answer, Prof, is that you have the Montessori schools that you can use. You have a practical example that I can recommend if people want to go for a visit. You stay overnight in the Eco Lodge. You interact with the preschool ECD center. You interact with the business incubator that is actually working with the community members. It's a very comprehensive intervention. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. I see here there's a hand, Haja, and where's Tammy? Where's Tammy?
Not a comment per se, but Tammy fell off and she's waiting in the waiting room. If somebody could just accept her, please.
Batanwa, are you there? Batanwa?
Yeah, she is. I'm accepting them.
Okay, sure. Is that the legacy? There's legacy 23, and then there's Tammy. Okay, no, it must have been. Okay. Okay, right. Okay. Any input, any comment, Fatima? I mean, I find these examples refreshing. And I think that certainly in our program, SIRC, we should we'll be in touch and maybe organize one or two visits. And I may say that in SIRC we'll be making a proposal to the members of board to explore the possibility of setting up our own model preschool center instead of just talking, talk whilst doing. Yeah. Nosy?
Yes, Prof. I also find that the example is very encouraging.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a practical thing that we can do as SEC. And I was when Mr. Somhlasho was talking, I was thinking of maybe, just maybe, we need to educate the ECD practitioners as well, because I was thinking, what kind of ECD practitioners do we have? Thinking back, in my junior secondary days, that there was a garden in Apalfoot. I know it's no longer there now, but there was a garden that was beautiful, if I can still recall. So it then asked a question: what happened? What happened to that caliber of practitioners? Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. And Mr. Mshat, is that an old hand or?
No, it's a new one. I just
Okay,
wanted
sure.
to follow up, Prof, on what I was saying.
Yes.
I had a chat with her the other day. I'm actually, I don't know about Kumdonga Tetis course, but a little Tetis course. The no more Nangalandi pa Atatsengiwe. I've been driving past that when I'm on my visits to Talusa and to SEC and for our classes, that each time I pass there, at some point those gardens there, that huge field was very vibrant. You could see that there is productivity there. And the last time I drove past, it was like nothing is really happening. And I was actually suggesting that there is enough land around Talusa, around Kala, basically, for this thing to be a model environment that we can boast about, that we were picked up where the previous government, homeland government, might have been better than us now. We actually do it better. There is enough land there, and I think it's in Nzulase. That's what I wanted to share. What I see in Bulungula could be nothing compared to what is possible around Italy in terms of available land for these interventions. Thank you.
Yes. No, that's true. I mean, in the broader context of things, we argue that land reform hasn't worked in South Africa. No, land is still in the hands of whites. But I think, in the context of what we are talking about, where you produce not for the so-called market, but you produce food, for people, for children, and so on, there is sufficient land, to start that. In fact, this could be one way of sort of, preparing for an argument for more land. If you can show that, with the little land, what one can do with the little land that we have, then we can make a very strong case to say that give us more. And then we'll change sort of the society. Yeah. So, yeah. But I mean, there is politics. There's politics, I mean, where we are. I mean, these places, it's not that, some of us haven't tried. And there is the old prison where we wanted to set up a museum and so on. And that prison used to produce vegetable that were sold. So yeah, it's something that some of us, is still in our mind. It's not something that happened centuries ago. It's been around. But suppose, the power, the impact, of capitalism and of buying, of depending on buying, money and buying is very strong. We must not underestimate it. And yeah, can we hear? I mean, we're supposed not to stop now 3 o'clock, but I'm keen not to hear from our visitors. And I'm particularly interested in students. We have been trying to get students here to come and do research on these topics, and we battling. So, and today we have a student at UWC would like to know what they are doing, and would like to advertise ourselves. If people want to do case studies, research, and so on, this is where they could come. Yeah. Sorry for putting you in the spotlight, but I mean, it's difficult. I would feel I won't be happy to leave sort of this seminar without hearing what our visitors are saying and what they think of this discussion that's been stimulated by Fatima.
I think I certainly think it's a very important topic that needs to be discussed and something that really needs to be unpacked a lot, because look, we work from obviously the more like healthcare, the medical point of view, where we look at how is what the child is consuming affecting their bodily functions, and so then how it can lead to cases of like obesity, of course, overweight and obesity, and then how it can lead to pre-diabetes, for example, which isn't, of course, an official diagnosis, but it does, of course, tell us the direction that the child is going into. And I think that because, of course, with schools and with these childcare centers, this is where the child is spending majority of their day. I think it's very important that we start looking into these into these centers. We look at how it is that the child is eating, what it is that they are eating, and then what we can do better. Because that also the child learns so much at school, and about the way that they need to live their life at school. Somebody, I think in the presentation, Fatima, you mentioned about how we've got children at 9 years old being diagnosed with diabetes. But for my research last year, where I looked at obesity in children, so the statistic was recorded in 2018. It hasn't been updated since then. But in 2018 already, 13% of children under the age of 5 were diagnosed, were either classified as overweight or obese in South Africa. And that's 8 years ago. And I think that is already quite chilling. It's quite scary to think about. And I know I'm certain, just based on the little bit that I've seen in the communities that we work in, that has certainly increased. And I think it's such a multi-sectoral, I don't know if that's the word, but there's so many different layers to it, because it's not as simple as just telling people to eat healthy or to eat better, because 90% of the time the healthy food is not accessible. And so that's obviously why, I think food gardens and those sorts of things are something that needs to be explored. It's something that we need to see if it can actually if it can actually be implemented in these different areas, because it's because these foods aren't accessible, and 90% of the time the processed and the fast food and these are the products that are being made really cheap, and these are the products that are being made really accessible for the children to even go and buy at the corner shop after school or something like that with the R1 that they have. That's what they end up consuming. And so yes, I do think, well, I mean, we're acknowledging like the Montessori approach is a very it's a model that we can go by. I mean, it's also, unfortunately, it's something that most privileged classes can only access now. I mean, my younger brother had went to a Montessori. And I mean, I saw the way that, the kinds of foods that they would consume, the way that they learn things. But it's, given South Africa's deep inequality, I think it's going to take us a while to be able to get there. And so, I'm certainly interested in, and that's, I think, why the seminar was so important. It gave us an insight into how it is that we can get there, and why it's something that all of our different sectors need to come together and need to then plan for something like this. It isn't something that, us in science need to sit in a corner and plan by ourselves, or those in ECD need to sit in a corner and plan by themselves. It's something that we all need to come together and provide different insights on. And so, I'm really looking forward to more of these seminars. I look forward to talking to Nozi about doing something like this, because I think even if it's not, for a research, but if it's something that we can start volunteering to be part of, we can call more people to be a part of. It's definitely something I think we can, we can work on. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm talking.
Oh yeah, no, this is very useful, and also, I mean, it would be interesting, to replicate a study, done in an urban center, and use, the same methodology, the same questionnaire, and so on, in a setting like ours, and then see, do a comparative study. And it's difficult to know what, the results would be, but my sense is that it would be interesting. Because we complain about poverty, malnutrition, and elsewhere, it might be obesity and so on. I mean, just to do that comparative study would be exciting. It would be a good, thesis and for students. Yeah. Temi, I see your hand is up.
Thank you. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, I've actually been kicked out a few times, so I might have missed some important points. But I thought I should just add on to what Harjat said. Since we are from the Western Cape and we sort of have slightly different experiences with our populations that we work in. So I thought I'd just mention that I think although children are malnourished and they're not receiving the proper nutrition, I think it's important to acknowledge that there are several challenges that we have to also consider in these populations. For example, starting with a mother. So, what we find is that most moms smoke and drink alcohol during pregnancy, at least 60% of the South African population of mothers. So, starting already from pregnancy, the mothers are also not receiving enough nutrition. They are already iron deficient because they don't consume the right foods. So starting from nutrition, starting from pregnancy, those babies are born small and they already have a disadvantage in life. So they already have to experience catch-up growth. And in most circumstances, they're not able to catch up with their growth because they don't have the right nutrition. Um, yeah, so most of the children are stunted already because of, I would say, their mother's behavior during pregnancy. And then apart from that, I think it's also important to acknowledge that the government is doing quite a good job with the feeding schemes. From what we've seen in both rural and urban populations is that um, the feeding schemes at schools, they provide a very well balanced diet, and we also see that that's most likely the only meal that children get for the day. So I think, yeah, the feeding scheme is doing quite a good job with that. And yeah, I think it's very difficult to actually address, the challenges at home because what I see is that most of the moms, if they're not using drugs, they don't have the money to even buy food. So yeah, it's a very complex challenge, but hopefully we can, at least start somewhere. That.
And these cases, that Mr. Samshasha, sort of, and who I think knows the, explain to us. I think they are important because that to me strikes me as sort of the rudiments of a foundation upon which we can build and and present an alternative to this distressing situation we find ourselves in. We must not find we must find a way out, and it looks as if we do have the ingredients or the building blocks for that for that alternative. And Haja, is that an old hand or?
So final thing I just wanted to add because we were talking, I think somebody mentioned it earlier about the grants. I think that's definitely something that, and it's such a difficult topic to broach, but in also majority of our of my population and the ones that both Tammy and I work with here, um most of them, the household income is the grant. The household income is, we've got multiple children, therefore we've got multiple little, like, grants that provide for the family, and so that's definitely something that needs to be addressed as well. It's just, it's you don't know where and how to start addressing it. I think that's something that also certainly needs to be looked into, because if most of them are unemployed, and so that is what sustains the family, and because the money that is supposed to care for the child ends up caring for the whole family, the child ends up getting the least of that grant most of the time. And yeah, I think that's something that also needs to be approached.
Oh yes, yeah, no, that's, I mean, quite clear. The grant. In fact, the grant, is itself a subject of research, because sometimes, when we look at how grants are abused, where people, sort of, get money and the next, stop is a tavern. They drink it. In fact, the last seminar, Ugambu here with us, made a presentation, and I laughed when he said that people who abuse this grant say that the grant is money that must be used before you get home. Because if you take it home, then there will be no, there will be no evil spirits, you'll bring evil spirits and so on, and bad things will happen to that family. I mean, I just laughed. I mean, how people justify an abuse of something they do. But at the same time, it is the same grant that is used quite usefully by especially women with kids and so on. They will take that grant. The first thing that comes to mind is what they would buy for the family, for the children, including their partners or husbands who are drunkards. They drink theirs and then they come back home and abuse women and beat them for using the grant in a useful way. So sometimes we make generalizations, and I think what's good with research is that these complex things can be made more understandable through research, where it's not this or that. No, it's complex. It's a combination of things and so on. So once again, I mean, where we can find students who want to do research on this, then I mean that's what we need to inform what we are doing in these NGOs.
At UWC, there's actually a school or a center of family and child disciplinary studies or something like that. I've been reading a lot of their papers, and so yeah, but they focus on, well, I mean, they focus on many different things, but they also look at education, the childhood education, and then how the role that plays, the child in the family in these low socioeconomic areas. They look with regards to drugs and those sorts of things. And so I will forward Nosy some more of the information, and then maybe she can share that with the group as well.
Please. Okay, wow, we're 20 minutes beyond our time. Fatima, do you want to make closing remarks and the way ahead?
I think more than anything, as much as I took this topic so lightly, it has been very informative, and it has opened, the doors. Now I'm thinking what Prof is talking about, the comparative study, which is something that we can also branch in, especially when it comes to the research about the nutrition. This is hard. And I think the repercussions of this malnutrition and, impoverished communities is shown when the child maybe gets a little bit older. As Haja has said that, there are children, that actually, there is actually a good statistic that was produced in 2018. But in all of that, I am happy that we have tackled it. I am happy that we have touched on it. I do hope that I'm sad actually, because some of the educators that are not here, some of the educators, I think I was talking to Ufu Yogazu the other day, that these educators, they don't come to these seminars, very important, very informative seminars where you get this fast information. And when Yogazu spoke about, I think responding to what Mr. Makiwana was talking about the various departments and how they can help. Vuyokazi has said that the departments are able to help, and these centers, that is Khululeka and them, they have that information, and when one is training with them, then they can be able to get that information. And Mr. Sontlhat has also touched on the modules that are touching on, when issues of nutrition. It's sad when they don't come to these seminars, but I think we can relay the information, and I think Vuyokazi has a finger up on his sleeve on how we can get them to come on these seminars. But thank you so much to everyone that has participated. I think Haja? Mrs. Sontlhatla, okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Mrs. Sontlhatla, let me again before I close.
Yeah, no, thank you. A short one. The last comment that you are making about the lack of attendance from the general ECD community, it's quite worrisome, because I've personally been there. I know the potential and the current capacity that is there from the ECD educators. Maybe there should be a strategy that is devised, because I think there is an element of theft protection by some of the formations around Ghana, who are discouraging people from coming there. We need to have some kind of a strategy of how do we entice or assist people to attend. I don't know how I to put it, but I've spoken to some of the educators. They are very keen, but obviously also the issue of time, because they are in schools. But generally, the mindset and the culture of time of health protection, we need to find a way of dealing with it.
Okay.
Thank you for that, Mr. Sontlhatla. I have already spoken to Vuyokazi, because Vuyokazi, since she's with Usmat Stat, and it's sad, Mr. Sontlhatla, because I'm going to say something that is not nice. Whenever you are not bringing in money, here it seems like it has no value. Whatever it is that you bring has no value. But since Vuyokazi will be working here in Cala with the ECD practitioners and bringing the Smart Start program, I think it's something that we can tackle. And then if ever it doesn't work, I'm not sure what else can we do, because I think Mr. Sontlhatla you would know that since last year, because last year we had a very good attendance, but I think it is this year that the attendance just dropped. But it's not like we are not inviting. They say that no, we're coming, but they never come. But in all of that, I can just say thank you, everyone, for everyone that has come in. Thank you for attending. Thank you for sharing your views. Thank you for giving up your time so that we can be able to learn as well. I think we can close now. Thank you so much.
When is the next one?
The next seminar will be
It is the first.
first
7th of September.
Yes, I think yes, it will be the 7th of September, and then I will send the invitations, and I'm not sure if maybe anyone would like to present another topic for the next seminar, and then what we can do is that you can just send us something that we can read, and then so that we'll be able to participate. But if ever there is, then you can gladly send it to me, and then we'll make the posters and then send it to everyone to attend. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Bye, Tammy.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Our website is up. Oh, okay. So these things will be deposited into